Hello, this is Conrad Nunez with the MHC Healthcare Podcast, where we get to know the people behind the roles here at MHC. My next guest is a well-known Tucson radio personality with over 41 years of experience in media. He has also served on the MHC Foundation board and has helped fundraise over $1 million in his career in radio. He is now part of the foundation for the past 4 years, helping co-organize and MC our annual MHC Balloon Glow and golf tournaments. Please help me welcome a man who needs no introduction, special events, major gifts, and grants for our MHC Foundation, Mr. Alan Michaels.
Good day, Conrad.
Good
How
morning.
are you, buddy?
I'm okay. It's bright and early today.
Well, it is. But by the way, I want to thank you for making me one of your podcasts here at MHC Healthcare as your final event for MHC Healthcare as you make a move upward in your ladder of life to El Rio. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for that. It's my pleasure. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm glad we made time. And the podcast is, like I said, it's a show where we get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how it all started.
You mean my radio career, my media career?
Yes.
All right. I had a family, an uncle in the family who was a pharmacist. And originally, everybody thought, I have a cousin that was a doctor. He's since retired. And they thought I was going to be a pharmacist. I wasn't that smart. I was more of a journalist kind of guy. Communications, radio, so on and so forth. Radio is my first love, and it will be my last love, period. I went to school for journalism/communications and loved every second of it. Partied like everybody did, and, I spent more time not going to classes than I did. Instead of going to classes, I used to go to Fenway Park in Boston and drink some beers out in center field and get some sun. That's how I spent my college days, and I'm proud of that because I was smart enough to graduate, taking a bunch of courses in communications. My first radio job was a place outside of Springfield, Massachusetts. I was a newsman, and that's what I loved, news. Still do to this day. Too bad there's no news outlets anywhere, and I mean that sincerely. Anyway, I was a newsman and did that for, almost a year. And then I got a job at a radio station in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is a very large city, the second largest city in New England after Boston. And I was an all-night talk show host. And we talked about aliens. We talked about what's going on in the world. We played some adult contemporary music and even some standards like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. And I take callers. We had a good time doing that. I did that for a while. But then I wanted to get back into the hard news. So my career and radio starts, you start off making little money in radio. You just do. I don't care who you are. Even Howard Stern, they started off making virtually no money, and you do it for the love, and you work your way up the ladder of success. So I ended up working in Providence, which is a good-sized market to this day, a great city. And my hometown, Greater Providence in Rhode Island. And I was a newsman at a radio station there. And one of the big things that I thought that it was pretty cool, there was an explosion at a British Sterling cologne plant just outside of Providence in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And I was called to go cover it for ABC News. The reason it was ABC because the radio station I was there was an ABC News affiliate. So I was a reporter on a Saturday, and I covered it, and I got virtually on every radio station in the country that was an ABC affiliate. And I made $25 for that report. Anyway, that was it, working my way up. And then I went from Providence. I got stuck in the blizzard of 78, which was 56 inches of snow. And the good people up in Buffalo, New York, had to shovel us out. I was taken to work via a snowmobile. And I said, that's it. I was living at the radio station like everybody else for like 2 or 3 days. And I said, I got to get out of here. Still love New England. Love the Four Seasons. Always will. Always have. Came to Tucson because I had friends and relatives here, and ended up finding out there was going to be a radio station starting in June of 1980 called KCEE, 790 Mighty Casey. I applied, got the job as a newsman. Go back, settled everything up in Rhode Island, worked everything out, traveled cross country, got a place to live here, and make a long story short, and I know that ship sailed. I got a job at 790 Mighty Casey to be a newsman, but the day before I was going to be a newsman on June 13th, 1980, when the station was going to go on the air, June 12th at 6 o'clock, they told me I was going to be a DJ and not a newsman. Didn't know how to be a DJ.
Now, is there a childhood story where you would wake up or you would see a telecast on television, you were like, I want to be a news reporter? Like, where did this all come from?
It all started with watching TV. I'm a news junkie, still am, but unfortunately, like I said, there's not much news going on. It's all opinion, and I like the idea of what's going on in the world. I can't get enough of what's happening. Sometimes it's enough to drive me crazy, and it's not a long drive either. I get that, but so I had no choice. I learned how to be a DJ within 6 or 7 hours. I went on the next day at 790 Mighty Casey, June 13th, 1980, and I was a DJ. I was a radio personality, and I did that for a while. We ended up buying a radio station. KWFM became oldies too, so we were cool, 92.9/790. We were on AM and FM at the same time. AM went away to KNST, became News Talk, and I stayed because I was enjoying my career as a radio personality, doing the oldies of the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and still no better music to this day. 1955 to 1975. Anything after that, I could care less. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, we did very well. We ratings were very good. I got very much involved in the community. I got so involved I became a weatherman at KGUN 9 doing the fill-in and weekend weather. I did all the telethons in town. I jumped into the Humane Society of Southern Arizona because my first love is really, when it comes to helping, I love helping animals. And as a matter of fact, at my wedding, my present wife and I, Roxanne, when we got married, we had the reception at McMahon's, which is no longer, unfortunately, and we didn't want any gifts. We didn't want anything. We didn't want any money. We wanted you to bring money, and you either give money to Casa de los Niños, which was Roxanne's favorite charity, or the Humane Society of Southern Arizona, which was mine. And that's how people came in and gave money to the two charities, and they made tons of money on that event. Anyway, radio and TV, and my love, and January 20th, I move ahead. January 20th, 2009, the day that Barack Obama was installed as president. On that day, Inauguration Day, Clear Channel laid off over 3,400 people, and I was one of them because of the money we were making and so on and so forth. So we were on the back page, and that was on the front page. I believe it was done purposely because it was a shot in the arm to a lot of people in radio. And since that, Clear Channel became iHeartMedia, and a lot of other companies have done that too. They do major layoffs coast to coast. So I went on to work at Wells Fargo Bank as a business development officer, did that for a while, and went back in radio, helped a radio station change format in the market here, but I didn't go on the air there. I did more of the administrative stuff. And then I get a call from Steve Stone, who's the director of the foundation here at MHC Healthcare, and he said, I'd like you to be on the board of directors. And I honestly said to that man, I don't know what MHC Healthcare is.
Yeah.
That is the truth. Because I used to help El Rio, used to help a lot of TMC, used to help all these other organizations, a lot of charities. I did a lot of telethons helping raise money. I came up, I was on the board, liked what they did. I was on the board for like 3 or 4 months. And we were starting to, generate some activity. And then an opening happened in the foundation, and Steve said, why don't you apply? I applied and got it. And so it's Steve Stone and me and the MHC Healthcare Foundation. We raise awareness for the organization. We've done golf tournaments, raised much-needed money for the medical education program, and for a while we also raised money to help COVID, big-time COVID. And we've done the Balloon Fest. And the Balloon Fest is something that I was one of a dozen or so people that started back in the late 80s and early 90s in Tucson. So we brought it up here, and it's been a huge success. We have our next Balloon Fest coming up on Saturday, November 12th here at MHC Healthcare in Marana. We have a golf tournament coming up June 12th at Omni Tucson National. So we're still raising money, still raising awareness, still working on grants. Overall, MHC Healthcare is a great organization. The people here work miraculously on helping patients get through their day-to-day activities and helping them stay out of the hospital the best they can. They do good work. All the healthcare facilities do good work. I'm just partial to MHC Healthcare because I see the patients day in and day out. And if you're looking to donate to a good organization, MHC Healthcare Foundation is top-notch as far as I'm concerned.
So you summed up 40-plus years of experience in about 7 minutes.
Yes.
So while you were in radio,
Right.
we had conversations before where you did a lot of fundraising. So you had a large amount of years of skill set that you brought to MHC. So what some of the events that you did in radio
That brought me to
that
this
brought
day?
you now, to bring
Well,
so much success and money to the foundation now?
Very creative in doing events. One thing I remember doing is the Rito River Regatta. It was an event. We have a dry riverbed, Rito River, so we decided to do something crazy. We had people do floats on trucks or 4x4s and do a parade in the riverbed. That was a huge fundraiser. We did it for a couple of years, and we introduced the area to Budweiser Light. It wasn't called Bud Light then, it was Budweiser Light. So we had Golden Eagle distributors involved in that. We did all kinds of, we in the radio world, we gave away cars, classic cars. We gave away a house. I used to take people to trips to Nogales every month. And we take a busload of people, go down to Nogales, and just party down there. The people would buy their drugs down there. Legal drugs, I'm talking, legal drugs. And do some drinking, do some eating, and do some dancing on tables, and we did. We do cruises. I would take hundreds of listeners to cruises, going to the Caribbean, going to Catalina Island. We would do that like every year. And on board, we would have Paul Revere and the Raiders. We would have Del Shannon at one time. We would have all these artists come on board, and they'd get a chance to see a concert with these artists. And locally, I was very much involved in the Tucson Classics, which was originally a tennis tournament. When Bo Bridges was involved and Michael Landon was involved, we got to hire Rick Springfield. And still to this day, Rick Springfield and I still text and see one another when he's playing in the vicinity. And we've done all kinds of things like this. I'm a Centurion, which is a group of 100 active members, but about 150 non-active members. And I've been a member since '88. My event was the Rocket Woodstock back in 1999. In 2000, I was an event chairperson. And I'm on the board. We raised money for Carondelet at St. Mary's Hospital. We built the Burn Center at St. Mary's. We have done so many things over the years. I've done the telethons for not only for Humane Society of Southern Arizona, United Cerebral Palsy, March of Dimes involved in the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I raised, and I was told this by another fellow media person, over $1 million over my years in Tucson, which is, I've done it. I know a lot of other guys and gals have done it too. You don't do it alone. You do it with your listeners. One thing I'm very proud of, when I was on the radio, and Joan Lee was my partner. It was Alan and Joan in the morning on Cool Oldies, and to this day we're still very good friends. I would have my own Alan Michaels Foundation. We raise money by raising money for doing car washes, raffles, and we buy turkeys for the people who are having a hard time around Thanksgiving. And we would just do a live broadcast in front of the building at Oracle in Fort Lowell at the time, and just come on by and get your free turkey. And if you needed it, great. If you wanted to give it to somebody, that's fine. It's up to you. And we did that. We gave away hundreds of turkeys. I'd go buy turkeys at all the restaurants in town and all the grocery stores in town. And that made me feel good, helping people who needed some help.
One thing we did a lot of crazy things over the years. Crazy thing was Christmas morning. We had the Christmas Battery Brigade. We would have our Cool Coyote, which was our mascot at the radio station. We'd have him dress up in the coyote costume, and if you needed batteries for a gift you got Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, you'd come by. We usually do it at the Tucson Mall parking lot and get as many batteries you wanted. We had batteries for everything, every size, and take as many as you want. We had thousands of batteries, and we buy them too and give them out. And it was just a crazy thing we did on Christmas morning. All great things, all for the community, but you don't do it without the help of your listeners. And I was very fortunate. I had a great ride. Loved my listeners. We did happy hours on Wednesdays. Why Not Wednesday happy hours? We do Friday happy hours with a band. I'd sing with the bands all the time. Come out and, get your hors d'oeuvres and get your alcohol at a good price. And we just enjoy one another and dance and just have a good. And New Year's Eve, we partied like nobody else. We do the resorts. We have the Snowball at Lowe's Ventana Canyon. And we'd have like the Shirelles performing, Paul Revere and the Raiders performing. We'd have artists doing New Year's Eve parties, and you would have a dinner, dance, and listen to these oldies artists. All these crazy things that we did, and nobody does them nowadays because, in a negative way, all the radio stations for the most part are owned by big corporate conglomerates, and they could care less about what goes on in the cities, and that's what's sad. I loved radio when I was in it, and if I could find another radio station that would, I know there's one or two that are locally owned in the market. If I could find a place, I probably would go back to it and do what I did. Successfully, we did it because I did one thing that a lot of people didn't do, and that's connect with your listeners, because you're one of them. You're as good as only your listeners. We're all the same. Nobody's better than anybody else, and I truly believe that. I had a great time in radio, loved it. I had a great time in TV. But right now we're in healthcare because we always need healthcare as we get older. And yes, I'm getting older. We all are, but it's great. And MHC is great. All the healthcare facilities are awesome. But I want to turn the tables and congratulate you on the job you've done since I've been here 4 years now at MHC Healthcare. And I've seen you grow into what you are now, and moving on to another chapter in your life, and you're going to succeed, and you're going to really gel there at El Rio. Congratulations.
This is a paid skit, by the way.
No, it's not.
No, I like to take this time my podcast and thank the speakers for their service, for their funds they've collected, for everything. Personally, for me, you've helped me grow so much. You've not only given me the opportunity to take charge and lead, but you've also gave me pointers, gave me advice, things that will always stick to me that I've actually started to tell my kids the same advice you've given me. So I can't thank you enough for that.
Well, really. Friends always help friends. And God willing, your success will, don't look back, look forward. You'll have a successful career, you're doing great, and you made a difference here at MHC Healthcare and helping us, Steve and me and the foundation, big time.
Yeah, that's been great.
And you've learned a lot.
Yes.
And you've come a long way, and you will take that with you to El Rio and beyond.
Yes.
Good for you.
Thank you. MHC has really given me the opportunity. My leaders, my superiors have given me, go for it, and that's more than I could ask for. And it's propelled me to where I am now, thanks to that, and I can't be more grateful for that. So I thank you. I thank MHC for everything. Thanks for being on. It was really a pleasure. And
Well,
I'm glad
I look forward to it. You turn a microphone on to me and just tell me to talk about myself, I probably could do that. But thank you. And I hope I wasn't too overwhelming to the viewers and listeners.
Absolutely no. They're going to be excited to listen, and so am I once all this is complete.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you to our guest, Alan Michaels. For more information on our foundation or to contribute, please call either Steve Stone at 520-616-1455 or Alan Michaels at 520-616-1557, or visit us online at mhchealthcare.org/foundation.